board as to what their findings were. Whether those findings and recommendations gets implemented depends on what the stakeholders want to do. So don't look at it as if somebody is trying to shove something down your throat. I'm telling you, 1 year from now, we're going to sit down and begin to discuss some of this planning, what we need to do. And at the end of the day, we'll do what is in the best interest of the college.
All right, let me recognize Evelyn and Deborah have their hand up, and then Rich, okay?
I just wanted to say that I think that the angst here is not limited to the programs that are affected by this proposal, and that the angst really is related to the process that, or the lack of process that involves our shared governance. I don't understand how it could go this far, and I appreciate that the consultants are hired to do, and they take their orders from our administrators, and so they're doing their job. It's our administrators' job to involve the faculty in this process and to make sure that from the very beginning the stakeholders are involved. And that's my concern, and I continue to have angst because I don't see any sign that we've all known that we have shared governance in our district. We remind you about it every single day. And
can I offer just a couple other perspectives too?
Hold on 1 second. I want to hear Deborah.
I'm also, it seems like it's not just a Laney issue, because it's a district issue in terms of if machine technology or whatever is being moved. I'm assuming it's being moved someplace, and the rumor is College of Alameda, and I don't know if that's, if you present to College of Alameda, that's what it is. But it seems like there's some issue here district-wide in terms of the academic centers. We have an educational master plan that's not just college, but also district-wide. Right. And if programs are going to be moved around, and the idea of signature programs, that has to be a district-wide decision.
Absolutely.
So I don't know if at some point there's also going to be sort of town hall meetings of inter-college.
Right. Yeah, we're just sunshining some ideas, and I hear everybody's concerns, and I, as a president, would want to say to you that these concerns are going to be taken seriously. I can't undo and unravel the process. I'm just being honest and truthful with you to say that when we're trying to manage this process of an accreditation self-study, a financial aid meltdown, a passport, web page, master planning, strategic planning, we all, I can say for myself, have been kind of overwhelmed with a lot of it. So you're dragging all these balls in the air, and quite honestly, we're dropping some. As a leader, rather than say, what am I going to do, just bury my head in the sand, I say to you, let's put our sleeves, roll up our sleeves together, be honest about our feelings, create an environment where we can feel safe again, to agree to disagree. And as Deborah said, it's going to be something that's going to have implications to other colleges. And this is not, again, something new where we have to talk to the other colleges because we're one district. So anything that moves here or comes here has to be vetted through the shared governance process. Could this process have been done cleaner or in a more inclusive manner? Absolutely. Okay. But I'm presenting something to you, and from the standpoint of where I sit, the board from the day one has said, we have this $390 million, we're not going to spend large amounts of it without an educational facilities master plan, which is totally right on and right what they should be doing. In terms of how we implemented this development of this educational facilities master plan, very sloppy, very, very sloppy, okay? I'm not going to try to defend that process, okay? All I can do is say, it's not too late to fix the process, but it's going to take me working with the academic senate, the classified senate, and the student senate to get everybody working together. What I'm trying to do is not have each other go at each other's throats. There's no boogeyman in this room, okay? There's no bad people in this room. There was a bad process. And if you're going to blame anybody, blame me then, because ultimately I'm responsible.
Yeah, Frank, okay. I wanted to reiterate that the educational master plan was supposed to be ready 1 year ago. Overall, when we did the strategic planning for the district, we'll be running behind in terms of timing. And as you are aware, the educational master plan just got completed last December. Now, this group from WLC has been working since March last year or April, trying to work with the constituency and be able to see to it that we're able to have something substantial, something substantially complete before the accreditation that is coming up in March. So they've only got like 1.5 months to actually really put some of this information together after several meetings that they have been having with the stakeholders. So you need to be with WLC trying to do this on some timeline. This timeline we're talking about right now is going to be a continuum for us to go and do the due diligence that is on the stakeholders in terms of discussion of whatever items will affect what building. That discussion is going to be coming. What you have here is a general idea and recommendation that we don't have to take. So I want you to see it in that light, not somebody moving project away or shoving something through your throat. That is not going to happen. And also on the 17th of this month, there will be a board workshop. You're all invited to come. And there will be a board workshop in the District Administrative Center where the board will sit down and look at some of the suggestions that is being given by our consultants right now. And then we'll move on from that process. And these similar town hall meetings are going to be happening at every college in the next few days, such that every campus can be able to relate to the planning process that has been going on with the architect, based on the town hall meetings and other meetings that they have been attending.
And I'll just say one last thing is that, you know, there's going to be some difficult choices to make, particularly in this economic environment. You know, I think we need to support one another. We need to work together and not cannibalize one another. But I think there are going to be difficult conversations that have gone on in this district and at this college over the course of its history. And we're entering this. You know, my commitment is to make sure it's transparent, it's open, and it's inclusive. Okay? You have a right to say, Frank, up to this point it hasn't been transparent, inclusive, and participatory. Okay? What I'm saying is this is early on in the process. This isn't an end point, you know, so I'll just leave it at that, okay? But I do appreciate and hear what you're saying about process. It's very important to me. I respect it, okay? But I'm just trying to frame for you what this district and what this college has been going through in the last 2 years. It hasn't been easy, but we can get through it. I'm confident because there's a lot of smart, intelligent, passionate people in this room, and we'll make a good decision in the end, okay?
The only things I have to show you is really the phasing, so you can get a better idea of timelines and sort out priorities. But before that, I want to mention that at the end of the day, I think with all of this discussion, I think that if you think of what we're showing you as your toolkit, our responsibility to you was to consider funding sources and the possibility of getting state funding to augment any other source of funding you may have. So what we're showing you is the kinds of things you have to do to be able to be responsive to going to the state for funding. So that's one criteria that we're responding to that is, I think, resulting in some of the tension, because it does mean we're trading off and we're trying to consider how to balance space allocation. The second thing I think to remember is one of the major goals of this master plan is, when we came in to assess your campus, is the obvious recognition that every building on this campus absolutely has to be addressed. And every one of them is in better or worse condition, all about the same. They have structural issues, they have systems issues, they have issues with just, you know, the outdated finishes and technology that's in every single space that you try and teach in. And so I think if you kind of step back and sort of look at this, is if you do start to work with this and you start to sort out some of the nuances that maybe we're not aware of or that you disagree with, I think keep in mind that you can always fall back on this to understand, okay, well, if I want to keep this program, how do I rebalance? Or am I going to have an issue with the state? What can I do differently to still retain that state funding possibility? And so I think that if you look at what we're showing you in that spirit, and you also look at it in the spirit when I show you the possible phasing and why we're responding that way in the phasing implementation, you remember those drivers. I think you'll get a lot more out of this plan as you continue your discussions. We had some different criteria to respond to than only the things I think that you're all concerned about, and we're trying to bring those to the table in a form that you can understand and work with as you discuss it forward. So I think if you think of it in that spirit, it might